There are prisons with walls, and there are prisons without them. Some of the most dangerous traps are built in silence, constructed not of metal or stone, but of doubt, charm, fear, and need. This is not a video about villains. It's a mirror we all have to look into, because dark psychology doesn't just come from others, it can come from within. Let's start with a question. Have you ever said yes when everything in your body screamed no? Have you ever apologized for something you didn't do just to keep the peace? Or stayed in a relationship that made you small because leaving felt too uncertain? If you have, you've already tasted the influence of dark psychology. It's human behavior twisted into a weapon. And what makes it so dangerous is that it wears a smile. Dark psychology is the study and use of psychological principles to manipulate, control, and exploit others. It's the shadow side of persuasion, seduction, charisma, and influence. The same tools used by leaders, artists, therapists, and teachers to inspire and heal can be used by narcissists, abusers, cult leaders, and toxic lovers to control and destroy. This isn't new. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote of it in The Prince. Freud hinted at it through the unconscious mind. Jung saw it in the shadow self. Modern-day psychology classifies it under names like gaslighting, trauma bonding, and narcissistic abuse. But we don't need degrees to recognize it. We feel it in the tightness of our chest when we're being cornered, in the exhaustion of constantly trying to explain ourselves, in the confusion that builds when someone's words never match their actions. Dark psychology is not about brute force. It doesn't threaten you directly. It makes you question yourself. And slowly, you begin to hand over your power, piece by piece. Not every manipulator is malicious, but every manipulator is wounded. Some are fully conscious of what they're doing. They study people. They know how to break you down, then make you crave their approval. Others were broken themselves, raised in homes of emotional chaos where control was the only form of safety, and so they became the thing they feared. But regardless of origin, the effect is the same. Manipulators look for three things: vulnerability, unmet emotional needs, and a lack of boundaries. If you're lonely, they offer connection. If you're insecure, they shower you with validation. If you're used to instability, they offer just enough calm before the storm. They scan you for the part of yourself you've neglected, and they offer to fill it, not out of love, but out of leverage. If you're watching this and thinking, why didn't I see it coming? Why did I stay so long? Why did I fall for it? Let's make something clear. Being manipulated doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. Manipulators prey on hope, on your belief that people can change, on your desire to be loved, understood, seen. And if you're someone who gives people the benefit of the doubt, you are more likely to be targeted. But here's the deeper truth. What manipulates you is often what you haven't healed. That's why this video isn't just about protecting yourself from them. It's about knowing you, because the first line of defense is self-awareness. Manipulators rarely announce themselves. They come as everything you've ever wanted: attentive, charming, magnetic, understanding, and it feels like fate until it feels like prison. Why do so many intelligent, strong, even spiritually aware people fall into these traps? Why do they stay in relationships that hurt them? Why do they keep giving second chances to people who keep crossing the same line? The answer is complex and deeply human. It starts with emotional hunger. We are wired for connection, for closeness, for love. This need is not weakness, it's biology, it's survival. From the moment we're born, our nervous system is trained to seek safety through attachment. A parent's touch, a lover's gaze, a friend's validation. But what happens when we grow up in environments where love is unpredictable, where affection is conditional? where safety is mixed with fear. We begin to confuse chaos with connection. We learn that love is something to be earned, chased, or feared. And that feeling anxious or unworthy is just part of the process. The manipulator doesn't create your wounds. They find them, they sense what's missing, and temporarily fill it. If you've never felt seen, they give you attention. If you've always been rejected, they make you feel chosen. If you've learned to walk on eggshells, they seem exciting, passionate, intense. It feels familiar, but not because it's good, because it's programmed. Your nervous system reads the emotional chaos as home, even if your mind knows something is wrong. And so the cycle begins. One of the most powerful forces in dark psychology is something called a trauma bond. When someone gives you love, then takes it away, then gives it again, your brain gets caught in a chemical loop. The highs feel intoxicating, the lows feel like death, and the return of love feels like salvation. But it's not love, it's addiction. You're not in love with the person, you're addicted to the cycle, to the relief that comes when they finally look at you again, to the hope that this time things will change. This loop floods your brain with cortisol during the conflict and dopamine during the reconciliation. And just like a gambler chasing the next win, you keep going back, even when it hurts, even when you know better. That's the genius of dark psychology. It doesn't push you, it pulls you, not with force, but with gravity. Let's break it down. 1. Gaslighting. This is the signature move. It's making you doubt your reality. You feel pain, they invalidate it. You notice patterns. They say it's all in your head. Over time, you begin to question yourself. You stop bringing things up. You second-guess your memories. You wonder if you're the problem. That's the goal, because once you stop trusting your own mind, you start relying on theirs. Gaslighting is mental erosion. You don't notice it immediately, but slowly it rewrites your story, and you become a stranger to yourself. 2. Love bombing. The beginning feels like a dream. They shower you with affection, endless compliments, late-night texts, gifts, big promises. I've never felt this way before. You're the only one who understands me. We're perfect together. And maybe you've never felt so seen, but it's not real love. It's a hook, a trap disguised as intimacy. Then, as quickly as it began, the affection disappears. They go cold, withdrawn, distant. You're left confused, desperate to get back to the good phase, and you start chasing it. This is how trauma bonding begins. Your brain associates emotional pain with moments of affection. And you stay thinking the person who hurts you is also the one who can save you. 3. Guilt tripping. This one's quiet, subtle. You say no, they respond with silence or disappointment. You speak your truth, they act like you've wounded them. You protect your boundaries, and suddenly, you're the bad guy. They use your empathy against you. The goal? To make you feel selfish for putting yourself first. So you learn to bend, to explain, to shrink, to make up for things you never did wrong. Until one day, you're not sure if your needs even matter anymore. They do. And anyone who makes you feel guilty for honoring your needs doesn't respect you. They want to control you. 4. Silent treatment. It's not just about being quiet. It's a punishment. You bring up a concern, you ask for clarity, you voice discomfort. Suddenly nothing, no reply, no eye contact, no energy, just distance, not to heal, but to punish. The silent treatment creates anxiety. It puts the emotional weight on you. It says, if you want me back, fix it. And so you do. You apologize first. You minimize your feelings. You beg for connection. And the manipulator, they win without ever raising their voice. They can't face the discomfort of being wrong. So they shift it to you. And if you internalize this pattern, you'll start apologizing for their behavior. While they never change, these tools work because they bypass logic and hijack emotion. They confuse, disorient, create a fog, and in that fog you lose your sense of self. It's called cognitive dissonance. This happens when you hold two conflicting beliefs at the same time. They love me. They're hurting me. I need to leave. I don't want to lose them. Your brain doesn't like contradiction, so it tries to resolve it. But in abusive dynamics, the contradiction never ends. They're sweet, then cruel, loving, then distant, supportive, then blaming. So you flip between explanations. Maybe it's your fault, maybe they're just struggling, maybe they didn't mean it. And in that uncertainty, you stay stuck. We are conditioned by culture to endure discomfort. We're taught, be polite, don't be difficult, don't overreact, don't make them uncomfortable. This conditioning becomes armor for abusers. They hide behind your kindness, your compassion, your reluctance to cause pain. But listen carefully. Kindness without boundaries is self-betrayal. Compassion without clarity becomes complicity. You are not here to be nice at your own expense. You are not here to fix broken people who break others. Here's the good news. The moment you name a pattern, you weaken its grip. Awareness is the first tool of liberation. Because manipulation thrives in silence. It depends on confusion. It feeds on your doubt. But when you begin to see clearly, when you trust your gut, or when you stop negotiating your truth, they lose their power. Manipulators disconnect you from your self-worth, so you forget you have options. They make you feel lucky to be chosen, to be loved. But you don't need to shrink to fit someone else's comfort. You don't need to be perfect to be respected. Not everyone around you is safe, but not everyone is a threat. There are people who will reflect your truth, hold your boundaries, celebrate your clarity, find them, trust slowly, open wisely. Healing doesn't mean trusting everyone. It means you can finally trust yourself to discern. And now it's waking up. This world doesn't need more armored people. It needs more awakened ones. So protect your peace with clarity, stillness, truth. Because in the end, the greatest power you'll ever reclaim is the one they tried to convince you didn't have. Your voice, your intuition, your mind. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. If this message lit something inside you, don't keep it in the dark. Share it, because someone you love might still be caught in the fog. And if you want more tools to awaken, protect, and empower your mind, subscribe.